Hello guys, welcome to Flipview series of Remix Reviews. So the series that we are going to review today is Bandish Bandits, created by Amritpal Singh Bindra and Anand Tiwari. Bandish Bandits is a series in its own unique league in terms of music and even in terms of the world that it takes place in. That is, Udaipur's royal world of music and gharanas. I believe that the trailer hardly does any justice to the series itself. In fact, the trailer is probably the worst part of the series because it presents it as a love story only, whereas this series is so much more than just being about a love story. It basically tells us about two worlds of contemporary and classical music coming together with their own motives of personal gains, but end up benefiting from each other more than any one side would have imagined. Although the focus on the classical music side is more than on the contemporary music, but that's what makes it more unique and rich. The basic plot is that a young boy, Radhe, belonging from a classical music gharana, is trying to become a better singer to be the successor to his guru, Pandit Ji, played by Naseeruddin Shah, who's also his grandfather and the head of the family too. On the other hand, we have a young girl, Tamanna, who's trying to be the next big pop star and work with her idol, Queen Ellie. Both of their worlds collide when Tamanna comes to Jodhpur in search of inspiration for her next song and meets Radhe after her concert. Soon after, they both join hands with each other for their own motives. While Tamanna wants to create her next original blockbuster song, Radhe just wants to earn some quick money for his family. While working together, they both fall in love with each other, but soon their personal lives and priorities start creating friction between them. But that's only the love story part, as there is an entire bigger subplot regarding the survival of Radhe's gharana and his quest to become the next Sangeet Samrat. Frankly, I believe this latter part is much more interesting than the love story itself. But we all know the obsession of Bollywood with love stories. Now, talking about the good and bad things about the series. Good things. The best part about this series is its original soundtrack, and in that respect, it is the best among all of the Indian OTT series so far. So kudos to the entire music department for that, especially the trio of Shankar Ehsaan Loy for bringing it into our lives. Also, all of the singers and lyricists have done an amazing job, especially regarding the classical songs. Secondly, the production design by Swapnali Das, set decoration by Abhishek Pugalia, and costume design by Hazel Paul is just amazing, as they truly make this world seem very authentic, beautiful, rich and colorful in every scene and frame of the series. In terms of acting, the work of Ritwik Bhaumik is great, as he really pulls off all of the singing scenes quite smoothly. In fact, his lip sync is probably the best in comparison to everyone else singing in this series. Shweta Chaudhary too is able to hold her own quite nicely. Also, acting by all the other more experienced actors is great, especially by Shiba Chadha in the role of Mohini, Radhe's mother, Atul Kulkarni in the role of Digvijay, Radhe's uncle, and by veteran actor Naseeruddin Shah in the role of Panditji, who's clearly the best one amongst them all. It's a real pleasure to see Naseer Saab playing this type of character so long after Sarfarosh. The best episode of the entire series is its climax. That last episode is just phenomenal. The tension, the drama, the resolution, and the character work is just amazing in the series finale. Now, talking about the bad things. The weakest part of Bandish Bandits is its story and screenplay. It is weak because it has been elongated too much. For example, the main antagonist is introduced after the 4th episode. Also, The entire story of the series can easily be told in one feature film, or maybe two at the most. The characters of the series are too weak and there isn't much of a journey for most of them. Secondly, the stakes never seem too high for any of the characters in most part of the series. It also happens because there is no real tension over the time deadlines introduced for several subplots in the series. Most of the time, they are introduced once and then forgotten soon after, or they're just used arbitrarily without creating any real tension. The story of different characters appear to be running separately and individually instead of being submerged into one another. It feels like the entire burden of the series is on the shoulder of its music, mostly classical, as the main story and characters are just too weak to do that. Lastly, without spoiling anything, I just want to say that the cringiest and the most irritating thing in the entire series is Radhe's futile effort to hide his identity from the entire world while working with Tamanna. The characters of both the male and female leads in the series are products of nepotism, but all in all, the series shows us how nepotism can also be utilized to create better quality of work instead of just being used as a support system at every point. The series also shows us the habit of us Indians trying to preserve our art by rejecting its distribution and monetization just to keep it secret and sacred. Basically, it is a very good story for one feature film, but spread out over an entire series, it feels weak as the characters have not been fleshed out entirely to carry the load of this elongated, stretched out story on their shoulders. But thanks to this series, we finally get some top class original soundtrack after a long while. If you like this video, please press the like button, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel FlipView for more content like this.